Welcome back, Warner fam. Today, I'll be recapping a spine-chilling horror mystery film, Blair Witch, so keep your eyes wide open and stay safe because things are about to get pretty eerie. The movie starts like this. We meet James, a young man whose sister, Heather, went missing years ago in the spooky Black Hills forest while investigating the creepy legend of the Blair Witch. James has always hoped that maybe, just maybe, she's still out there somewhere. One day, a mysterious video pops up online, and it shows what James believes is his sister, wandering in the same woods. Feeling a rush of hope and a need for answers, James decides it's time to go search for her. So, he gathers his friends, his best buddy Peter, Peter's girlfriend Ashley, and Lisa, a film student who's tagging along to document everything that happens on their journey. Together, they head off to Burkittsville, Maryland, ready to dig into the mystery and find out what really happened to Heather. But of course, things are about to get a lot scarier than they ever imagined. The deeper they get into the woods, the more things seem to go wrong, and the line between reality and nightmare starts to blur. The forest doesn't seem quite right, and strange things begin to happen that they can't explain. With every step they take, it feels like something or someone is watching them. The deeper they go, the more lost and confused they become, and soon they realize they might have stumbled into something much darker than they ever expected. As they arrive in Burkittsville, the group meets Lane and Talia, two locals who had posted the mysterious video James found online. Lane and Talia are both really into the Blair Witch legend and seem eager to help, but they want to join the trip too, since they believe they have some important knowledge about the forest and its strange history. So, after some talking, James and his friends agree to let them come along. The group sets off into the woods, which at first seems pretty normal. Just a lot of tall trees, the sounds of birds in the air, and sunshine breaking through the branches above. But as they walk deeper into the forest, something starts to feel off. It's not just the quiet, but a strange feeling of being alone and far from any help. It's like the forest is swallowing them up. As they move further in, Lisa, who's there to record everything for her film, sets up her cameras to capture the trip. She even uses a drone to get some shots from above, trying to make the trip seem like just another adventure. But the deeper they go, the more uneasy they start to feel. There's something about the woods that's beginning to feel wrong. As night falls, things start to take a turn for the creepy. The forest, which seemed peaceful during the day, now feels darker and more unsettling. Strange noises echo through the trees, cracking branches, rustling leaves, and distant, eerie sounds that make the group feel like they're not alone. When they wake up the next morning, they're shocked to find stick figures, strange, creepy symbols that are tied to the Blair Witch legend, hanging all around their campsite. At first, they think maybe Lane and Talia put them there as a prank, but Lane and Talia swear they didn't do it and are just as scared as everyone else. The feeling of being watched is growing stronger, and the air feels heavy with fear. Even though the group is getting more and more nervous, James is determined to keep going. He's convinced that if they can find the house from the video, it will lead him to his sister Heather. Despite the growing tension and fear, he insists they press on, believing that finding the truth is the only way to stop the terror they're feeling. The group keeps moving forward, but things only get worse the deeper they go. As they're crossing a stream, Ashley hurts her foot, and the cut quickly becomes infected, making it hard for her to walk. She's struggling to keep up, limping through the forest, and her pain only adds to the growing stress and fear that everyone is feeling. To make things worse, their GPS devices suddenly stop working, and the forest starts to feel like a never-ending maze with no clear path out. It's as if the forest itself is playing tricks on them, like the Blair Witch is controlling everything around them, twisting the land and warping time so they can't find their way. They even try to retrace their steps, hoping to get back to the place where they started, but no matter how much they walk, they always end up back at the same campsite. It's like they're stuck in some kind of nightmare, and the more they try to escape, the more trapped and terrified they become. At this point, Lane and Talia start acting really strange. They keep saying they've been lost in the forest for days, even though the group has only been out there for one night. Lane's paranoia gets worse, and he starts talking about weird things like time loops, claiming that the Blair Witch doesn't let anyone leave once they've entered her domain. The more he talks, the more everyone starts to feel uneasy, and the tension among the group grows stronger. It all comes to a breaking point when they confront Lane, trying to understand what's going on with him. In a burst of panic, Lane and Talia suddenly run off into the dark forest, leaving the rest of the group behind, alone and even more scared than before. The night feels colder now, and with Lane and Talia gone, the fear of the forest seems even more real. Ashley's injury starts to get worse, and the infection on her foot spreads faster than anyone expected. In one of the creepiest moments, she starts feeling something strange moving under her skin. Terrified, she pulls out a slimy, insect-like object from her leg, and the sight of it is so horrifying that it makes everyone wonder if the forest is playing tricks on them, or if something much more evil is really infecting her. Even though the pain is unbearable, Ashley refuses to stop. Her fear of being left alone in the dark, mysterious forest is stronger than the pain, so she keeps going. panicking, struggling to keep up with the group. But as the group moves on, the feeling that something sinister is lurking around them only grows stronger, and it becomes harder for everyone to tell what's real and what's just a terrifying illusion. With no clear sense of direction and the fear around them growing stronger, the group decides to use the drone to get a better look at the area, hoping it might help them find a way out. They send the drone up into the sky, but all it captures is endless trees in every direction, nothing but more of the same. Then, just when they think it might help, they lose control of the drone, and it crashes deep into the woods, making everything even worse. Now, they're without their aerial view, and it feels like the forest is getting tighter, as if it's slowly closing in on them. The trees feel like they're closing off every escape, and the group starts to realize just how trapped they really are. Night falls again, and the group hears Lane's cries echoing through the forest. When they finally find him, he's completely disoriented, acting more paranoid than ever. He keeps muttering about her watching him and insists that they're all doomed, that there's no way out. It's then that they notice something terrifying. Talia is nowhere to be found. They start searching for her, calling her name, but all they find are more stick figures, just like the ones they saw earlier. In a moment of pure panic, Talia suddenly appears and, in a desperate act, destroys one of the figures, thinking it will help. But as soon as she does, she collapses to the ground, her body twisted and lifeless, as if the stick figure was somehow connected to her. The group stands frozen, horrified, finally realizing that whatever they're dealing with in this forest is something far more dangerous and powerful than they ever imagined, something they can't control or escape. With every step, desperation pulls James, Ashley, and Lisa further into the dark, dense forest, their hearts racing as the thick trees close in around them. Just when they think they can't go any further, they stumble upon a house, its eerie, crumbling walls matching the ones in the footage they'd seen. James, his mind set, believes that Heather is somewhere inside, and without a second thought, he charges toward the door, ignoring Ashley and Lisa's warnings to be careful. The house is dark, the air heavy with the scent of decay, and strange, unsettling symbols mark the walls like warnings no one should ignore. James, undeterred, shouts for Heather, his voice echoing through the darkness, and as he hears what he thinks is her voice calling back, he pushes deeper into the house, feeling more certain than ever that she's waiting for him inside. While searching through the dark house, Lisa and James suddenly get separated, each of them venturing off into different rooms. As Lisa moves through the musty halls, she spots a mirror on the wall, and for just a second, she sees a shadowy figure standing behind her, almost like it was waiting. Her heart races, and she quickly tries to escape, but the house feels like it's closing in on her, shifting and twisting around her like it has a mind of its own. No matter which door she opens or which hallway she runs down, she always ends up right back where she started, trapped in a maze of endless rooms that seem to pull her further into the darkness. James finally finds himself in a room he believes is where Heather is hiding. His heart races as he's certain that he's about to reunite with his sister after everything they've been through. But instead of finding Heather, he comes face to face with the dark, terrifying force that has been chasing them all along. As he stands frozen, he stares at the wall, feeling an overwhelming sense that he can't look directly at whatever is behind him. It's like something horrible is just inches away, waiting to pounce. At the same time, Lisa stumbles into the same room, trying to stay calm. She uses the camera's reflection to help guide her, hoping to avoid seeing the Blair Witch. But no matter how hard she tries to avoid it, the dark power of the house pulls her in too, and she becomes another victim of the strange and terrifying forces that seem to control the place. It's clear now, they're not just fighting to find Heather, they're fighting to survive. The film ends with the camera falling to the floor, its lens pointing upward to capture nothing but complete silence and darkness. There's no sign of James, Lisa, or anyone else who had been in the house. The only thing left is the eerie stillness, as if the forest itself has swallowed them whole. The mystery of the Blair Witch remains unsolved, hanging in the air, making us wonder if anyone will ever be able to escape the curse of the forest, or if it's already too late for them. The screen fades to black, leaving us with one final chilling question. Is the nightmare over, or is it just beginning? So, which awesome movie should we recap next? Drop your suggestions in the comments below and let's make it happen. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you never miss out on our fun recaps. We've got plenty more coming your way. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Produced by Warner Talks.